Nope.
No, I
Something
am.
dingy.
Yes. Okay. Heather's checking to make sure I've already hit the record button. Yes, I have hit the record button.
Is everybody's audio working?
Trey,
Mine is,
it's
isn't
good
it?
advice. Careful.
I've
Brian's
ripped into your ear.
Yeah. Heather.
It doesn't mean our audio is recording, though.
No, it is. I'm looking at the bar doing the thing. Trey looked at Heather last night and was like, "Hey, Trey, make sure he hits the record button." All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages. It's episode 12 of the On the Button podcast. My name's Wes. I'm here with my buddies Trey and Ian. As always, how's it going, fellas?
Fantastic. I'm so excited and happy to be back to do this. I don't know why I just got like the super buzz to come back and talk to you guys. It just feels like the game's gotten bigger. I missed you. More people are playing. I don't know. I'm excited about things right now.
Man, I got to tell you, it was, for all of the ups and downs and the roller coaster ride that the GC was, it was really awesome to see 3,000 people in a room playing Unlimited. That was really cool, man. That was really cool.
It was really awesome. Yeah, I've been pretty stoked to get back and talk to you guys.
So have I.
I wanted to catch up with you guys yesterday, but I had to bounce.
That's okay. And because I haven't had the chance to thank you in person, I'll thank you here. Thank you, Ian, for your generous donation of that lovely Mace Windu promo off the prize wall. Thank you.
I watched your video.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I gotta give this to Wes. Like, he needs this. Like,
so
maybe he could smile for 30 seconds.
I'll be honest, as I'm still not happy. Obviously, I'm not gonna rehash the video. Okay, if you guys have not seen the video, I'll put a link to it in the episode description. You can go watch it yourselves.
Yeah.
We're not gonna rehash it here, but I'll say
I don't watch your videos at all, so
that's fine. It's fine, whatever. But here's the I was
I
able
love you, Trey, so much.
I was able to trade for some things to the point where I feel kind of okay-ish about where I landed with what I came back with. And I'm also able to spend a little bit of money. Like, Ian gave me a mace, and I had completely forgotten that Jason, one of our local TOs, had bought one on the floor on Sunday night from somebody for a very reasonable price. And I was holding it for me. And when he came up to me last night at Dragon's Lair, I was like, oh, he's like, you want your mace? I was like, I completely forgot about this thing. So I was like, yeah, I'll PayPal you the money right now. Here's your money, right? I found a gentleman today.
I could have kept that one.
I found a lovely gentleman today up in Austin who I bought a couple of the Grand Inquisitors from for a reasonable price, which is what the card that I probably wanted the most of. I wanted to walk out with a play set of Grand Inquisitors because I have that card in like 3 or 4 different decks. Anyway, long story short, a little bit of extra money and a little bit of extra help from the community, and I'm slowly kind of getting to where I'm a little more okay with it. I'm still frustrated. They got to do better, but anyway. So yeah, GC's come and gone. It was really cool to be in the room with all those people playing the game, loving on the game. The community was fabulous. Ian had a very, very unique experience on day one. And I want you to tell this story because you can tell it way better than I ever could.
So this story starts Thursday night with, I think, a lot of people who went to GC had the same problem I did. Showed up Thursday to get my badge. I have $200 worth of side tickets they owe me. They're out of side tickets. I'm not playing in a main event. I'm not playing in any tournament. I'm playing in side event. So
I have a question. I have a question for you. You have 200 what?
$200 worth of side event tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So you showed up. Well, I don't know. That means I'm not sure what that means, having not been there. So you spent $200 to buy side event tickets. How does that work?
Yeah. So I prepaid. They sent out an email saying, "Hey, prepay and get your side event tickets and pick them up with your badge Thursday." So I'm like, okay, I'll pre-buy them. So basically, what it meant is that when I got into line and I got up to the front to play a game, I handed them either 2 to 4 side event tickets to play in different events.
Okay.
Like Win a Box was 4 tickets, Twin Suns was 2 tickets.
And you had 200 of them? You were
No. I
spending
had
$4
40
worth.
tickets.
He had 40
$40
tickets. He had 40
Okay.
40
tickets.
tickets.
All right,
40
that makes some more sense. That's still you're about to show up and you're about to grind. I mean, that 40 tickets at 1, 2,
In my
4,
mind, I'm thinking
amazing.
I can turn those $200 into the Luke Skywalker Vader showcase
Easily.
and the mat I really wanted, which was the father, son, and daughter mat.
Okay.
So I go to check in, I get my badge. Negative. We're out of side event tickets. Come back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I show up at the registration booth at 8:15.
Quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
I have more questions. We gotta paint this visual picture for people that weren't there, like me. So you were supposed to have 200 tickets. So they were going to physically get. This is 2025, and they were going to give you a physical piece of paper for 40 times.
40
and
tickets.
you were going to go hand this physical piece of paper to somebody to get into a side event. They didn't do it digitally on your phone. They didn't do any of that.
Nope.
And they didn't print them on the spot. They supposedly had them printed up ahead of time, and they just didn't have enough to give out.
Correct.
So these are like the Chuck E. Cheese machine spitting out the prize tickets, and they just ran out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, please continue.
So Friday morning, I go down at 8:15 in the morning to get these tickets that I'm owed. Mm-hmm. No tickets. They still don't have any stinking tickets. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, opening ceremony is supposed to start at 9:45. So I have time to get breakfast, come back, get my tickets, and go play some events.
Did they run out, or did they just not have any to begin with?
So they had some Thursday night to give out. They ran out of them.
Thursday when they opened the badge line Thursday at noon, they had some, but they very quickly ran out. There were people picking up their badges by like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon that they were gone. No side event tickets. And this is for even people like Ian bought a badge, and then you could add on side event tickets. So that's where a lot of his came from.
They sent me an email telling me to. God damn it!
And then but some of us bought badges that side event tickets were included in the price of the badge, and they didn't even have those.
So then, what was the excuse they gave? Did they say that
they never gave one?
They just didn't. They didn't.
No,
order
I have
enough?
it. I have it. Trust me. And when we get through the story, we'll get there. Okay.
Okay.
So I go have breakfast with my wife. I get in and I'm able to get the droid package for that day. So I'm very excited. I get to pick up my droids. Okay, the little Galactic con exclusive.
The con exclusive. Mm-hmm.
Con exclusive with a couple of droids in it. Super excited for that. So I go to get my tickets at 9:30. No stinking tickets. Okay? No tickets. So, unfortunately, my inner dad, in my family, we don't call it going Karen. We call it going Larry Edelman, because my dad has been known to berate a customer service employee from time to time in his life. Fair enough. At this point, I'm full Larry Edelman, right? Let me talk to your manager guy. I become that guy. They get me to a black shirt person who apologizes to me, tells me to wait a few minutes, and he'll get me some tickets. Because I'm explaining to him that I'm only there to play side events. I'm not playing in the main event, and I want to be able to play some games.
Now, there's
three levels of shirt people.
This is not we're going to fix the order, right?
This is not we're not going to
fix it for everybody. This is you have had to go full Larry Edelman. And that means you've been the squeaky wheel, and they've been like, just shut up. We'll give you something to make up for it. Just you. We're not fixing it for everybody. We're just fixing it for you. Okay. So
I get my $200 worth of tickets, my 40 ticket. Okay. I go meet up with Wes about 9:40ish. I'm finally get over to Wes. Mm-hmm. We're waiting for the opening ceremony to start. Some guy comes out on the stage and says, "We're gonna start games." And that's about it.
That's about it.
That sound right? Yep. So the opening ceremony was, we're running late. We're starting some games. So from there, we go wait in this side event line. And the line is probably 500 people. There is probably, if there was 2,000 people playing in the main event, there was anywhere between 500 to 700 people in this side event line. Wes and I start waiting in it at 9:45.
So it didn't matter like that. All these other people, if they had enough tickets, the rest of the people standing out who didn't get their tickets would have made this line even longer.
Oh, people are waiting in this line without tickets.
Without tickets.
They're waiting in line without tickets. We'll get to that. Like, it gets real bad real fast. So I got notes. Hold on, let me get my notes here. So We're waiting in line for about 45 minutes, and I'm losing my shit, right? I've been told I can't get tickets. I got to talk to a manager to get tickets. I tell Wes, look, I got to go see what's going on in this, right? So I just kind of go up there and I'm watching. Okay?
I've never seen him this beside himself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's real
bad.
bad. I'm writing to reflect on my own self. I'm writing a short story about it so that I can, and I'm coming off real terrible in it so far, even when I'm writing it myself.
But sometimes it's okay to be this mad. It's not just inherently bad to be this upset at something. If there's something you need to get upset with and you can affect change, then it's not just inherently bad.
The problem is my anger level is only growing, right? So I'm like already here. So I go to watch to see what they're doing. They're checking people in one at a time with Melee, which we all know takes 5 minutes a person to check somebody in. These people have clearly never used the program before, so they're really struggling. They only have 2 stinking computers for 500 freaking people. So there is 2 people, 2, checking them in. 500 people, 2 people. Then I watch that they're handing out restaurant pucks. You check in and they hand you a restaurant puck and you're waiting in this huddle. And now the huddle has about 60 to 70 people in the huddle. So you have 60 or 70 people that have paid, but they're still not playing a side event. It is 10:45 and not one side event has been launched yet. They are in their second match of the Open by the time their first pod launches. At this point, I go back to Wes and I go, bro, they're checking everybody in one at a time on Melee. This line isn't actually moving. People are getting out of it. I'm going to get a full refund. I'm done. I tell Wes, I am done. I'm getting a refund for my ticket. I'm getting a refund for all my side events. And I'm going to go spend that money in the casino in Vegas. Because we're in Vegas, baby. And I love Vegas. So at this point, I go back down to registration. Registration tells me they cannot offer me a refund, and then I have to go back to the main event and talk to 2 gentlemen wearing blue shirts at a info booth to find out how I get a refund.
So now we've hit black shirts and blue shirts. Can you give me a hierarchy?
Yes.
Is one higher than the other?
There are 4 different hierarchy of shirts. Blue shirts are your basic cashiers, stalkers, basic people. Okay? Your gray shirts are supervising the gray people or the blue people. Okay? In every pod of blue people, there's 1 person wearing a gray shirt. They are a supervisor. Then there is 1 person wearing a black shirt, and they're like in charge of that entire area where they're stationed. And there are also green shirts. Those are judges.
Okay.
And red shirts. Red shirts are the keepers of the cards. So when you go to do a draft pod, the people in the red shirts get the cards for the draft.
It sounds like they put more thought into the colors of the shirts of the people working than they did how to actually run the event.
So true. So I talked to the blue shirt 2 gentlemen who were super nice. They kick me back down to registration. Okay. So I've walked to registration. I walked to the blue shirt guys, and now I'm back to registration.
Okay.
This is where I talked to the black shirt gentleman I had talked to earlier. I tell him, dude, your side events are falling apart. You've launched 2 pods probably by now, and you've got 500 people in that line, and you've got 30 people standing around here doing nothing. You need to send them upstairs. Wow, lo and behold, they listened to me. They send some people upstairs. Awesome.
What does sending upstairs mean?
So there was literally 10 people in the registration area, and there's nobody registering anymore because the Open started. So if you're there to play, if you're upstairs playing already. There's nobody to check in. So they moved those 7 or 8 extra people up to the side event. Okay? So I'm talking to the black shirt guy, and he tells me that to get a refund, I have to go to their website to get a refund. Okay. I go back upstairs to say hi to Wes and basically throw my cards at people, like pull an Anthony, throw my cards, peace out, I'm done. Right? When when Wes gets force throwed 3 times in a row in a game.
Bingo. Nailed it.
I passed by the really nice blue shirt guys who asked me how everything went. And I unloaded on them a little bit. And I was like, I would love to talk to an FFG person. Lo and behold, one of them's got a headset. He goes, come back in 10 minutes. There'll be somebody here. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to sit right here and wait. I'm going to sit right here and wait.
Got a camp.
So this is where I meet a very nice lady named Kristen. She even gave me her phone number. She was so nice.
Wow.
And we get into a back and forth heated debate, okay? About how if she doesn't do something, these side event people are going to leave. You're going to have people from the main event who have lost 2 games and are going to drop out and try to get tickets to the side event. So I'm trying to tell her a quarter of your field is about to drop out and try side events. Your line hasn't moved. I can count the pods at this point. We're now at 7 pods because there's 7 judges standing around because the judges have nothing else to do. There's a huge herd of green shirt people standing around doing nothing.
Green shirts were
waiting
judges.
for pods to start.
Green shirts were judges.
Green shirts are judges. So they're waiting around to do pods, but only 7 pods have launched. So we're going back and forth with each other. We're really not getting anywhere. And she goes out of nowhere. Do you think you can fix it? And I'm sorry, fans, I'm going to cuss. I say, fuck yeah, I can fix it. Your shit sucks. Okay? A little background on me. I've always worked retail. For a long period of time, I worked at GameStop. Pre-digital downloads. Okay? I had 300 people at my WoW Burning Crusade, and I had 500 people at my WoW Lich King.
Old school, baby.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't download it before the game came out. You
I
had
remember.
To physically get your copy.
I went to midnight pre-releases. Yeah.
It's super important to get those people their copies so they can go home and play. And I'm one of those people. So I wanted to be closed, shop, home. For Lich King, I lived 15 minutes from the store. I was downloading my copy at 1 a.m. So I got through 500 people between midnight and 12:45 so that I could get my butt home and play some WoW. So I understand line management, okay? You prepay, you do a lot of stuff. So she gets me in contact with the red shirt guy, the guy who's in charge of handing out the packs. Turns out he's also in charge of running his minions. Well, the problem that his minions are having is they don't know how to use Melee because it's a terrible program. Terrible freaking program. I'm getting really agitated again. This is bad.
I know, I can feel it. It's coming through, man.
It is coming through. The video,
sorry.
your veins are popping out, man. You're like,
I'm getting the Larry Edelman vein.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah.
You were only 99%
my face
there
is
before.
turning red again. Yeah. So he gets me in. So I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, first, number 1, clear out your area. You've got 100 people standing around there now, not playing pods. You need to get them in pods. Okay. While you're getting these people cleared out and into the gaming area, I'm going to organize your lines so that we can put people together. Because the problem is there's 500 people in line. One person comes up and says, I want to play Win-A-Box. Okay, we'll pay you for Win-A-Box. Go wait over here with your little puck. I want to play Twin Suns. Here, wait over here. Here's your little puck. But they're not firing off the pods. So first thing I do is I find 4 boxes of empty shit in the back and I put them out so that I can organize myself, right? Far left, I decide is Premier because it seems to be the biggest line. Second line is Twin Suns, Draft, Win-A-Box. I literally go down the line.
I saw these boxes.
People, you see, okay.
I didn't see Ian Adelman credited with these boxes, but
No.
I saw these boxes.
My boxes.
Those are Ian's boxes.
Those are my boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I start organizing people. And now when I first start organizing people, I'm getting a lot of looks because I'm in a regular shirt. I got a regular badge. I got my backpack on. And I'm getting this look of like, who the fuck is this dude? Right? Everybody's looking at me like, this guy's insane. I'm like, look, if you want to play games, listen to me. I'm trying to organize you. I'm trying to help these people because they're terrible. So in about 30 minutes, I go down the line and I just ask every person, what do you want to play? I want to play Twin Suns. You're right there in that line. What do you want to play? I want to play Draft. You're right there in that line. I want to play Win-A-Box. You're in that line. We have an 8-person pod. We want to play Premier. You're in that line. I go down the line, get it sorted in about 30 minutes. They still, in the 30 minutes it took me to sort out the line, they can't get that 100 people bunched out of there. They're still there.
Oh, the people that have already paid but haven't fired
People
yet.
have already paid. They're holding pucks. It turns out the pucks weren't programmed. They were doing nothing. They were holding plastic pieces that had become unregistered in the morning, and they weren't signaling. Okay? So now I convinced them, because they have tournament sheets, let me just put some names on some sheets. and let's fire them out.
Oh my God,
okay?
You guys got pen and paper. Let's make this happen.
For the record, this became how they did it the rest of the weekend. Okay? The rest of the weekend, the line was organized into one line, but they had people sorting it as you got to the front.
No, there were multiple lines the entire rest of the weekend. They used your system the entire rest of the weekend.
The entire weekend. So I convinced them to give me sheets. So I'm going down the line and I'm like, okay, the longest one is, I tell the guy that your longest line right now is
Premier.
Is Premier. Okay. Yeah. By far the longest line. I was like, I need somebody dedicated to do just Premier pods. So now they've gone from 2 computer people to 5 computer people. So we have 1.5 times our resources on computer people. Okay. People taking tickets. So he gives me 2 different lines to bring people of 8 to. I start firing up and just going down the line. I need 8 people for Premier Pod. Let me get your names. Take this to that lady right there. And I'm walking them over. So I do this with them for about another hour. At 1 o'clock, I look at my phone. There's no line. I've gotten the line out. And the Premier and the side event area is as packed and freaking busy as the open play. Okay? I was just like, it felt like a really good FU moment. Like, yeah, I can do your shit better. Neener. Okay? At this point, too, to get the pods fired off because people don't have tickets, and it takes time for them to pay with tickets, I had given out all my side event tickets. Mm-hmm. I was handing them out to people who didn't have tickets. Hey, we've got, 8 of us want to play. We only have 7 missing tickets. Here's 2 tickets. Get in the line. Not a problem, man. Have a great time. I'm fist bumping people. People are high-fiving me because they're actually getting to play a game. I even organized Wes and got Wes into a pod, and he's like the happiest man ever. Like, give me a big old bear hug from behind because he's I'm going to play a game today.
I did. In fact, as I recall, I picked you up and spun you around a few times because you're so tiny.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Hard.
Yeah, it's not very difficult. So after the line clears out, I tell them, I'm like, okay, you need to stick with this, okay? I'm going to go play some games now myself. I'd like to play. I came here to play. And one of the gentlemen in the black shirts comes up to me, thanks me over and over again, and asked me a really weird question that I didn't understand at first, but I figured out after he gave me free stuff. He asked me light side or dark side. And I rudely looked at him and I said, dude, clearly I'm not dark side or I started a riot. Right? I'm helping, not... I wanted to yell in that line with Wes, like I was done. So the guy in the black shirt gave me one of each promo that was available for 200 side of or 200 prize tickets, a Luke showcase, and a really cool Vader box.
Oh, that's cool.
Though I worked for them for 3 hours, though I worked for them for 3 hours, it was 100% worth it because the rest of the time throughout the convention, very few people recognized me from the On the Button podcast or Wes's streams, but everybody came up and said thank you over and over and over again for helping them get some side events in just general and really help them start their ticket grind.
Ian had quite the fan club after his showing on Friday, let me tell you.
Yeah.
A lot of people knew who he was at that point.
My favorite part was, I spent a lot of time playing games with Wes because we were both side eventing the whole time.
Yeah.
And I would be standing next to Wes and they would look at me like, God, that guy's familiar. But I don't know who he is. I know who C-Raptor is, but I'm not quite sure who this guy is. And I was like, Denver. And they're like, oh, Denver.
What was really funny to me is, and I said this on my video, I got recognized a lot, but sometimes people wouldn't recognize my face. But when they'd hear me, we'd be standing. Exactly. We'd be standing around, waiting to fire a pot off, and I'd be talking in the group and they'd kind of, give you that little head nod, like, what is that? And then they'd be like, oh, I know that guy. And so then they'd recognize me, right? But they'd hear me first, which is as we predicted because I'm obnoxiously loud. So there you go. Ian,
the community was...
Go.
The community was fantastic. I was literally shopping with my wife and somebody came up to me in front of my wife and was like, "Thank you so much for your help with side events. That was absolutely amazing. I only got games in because of you this morning." And because it was in front of Carolyn, Carolyn's like, she's like, "Oh my God, pieces of paper." But
so when do you start your job with Cascade? Because surely they made you an offer to come fix all their stuff.
This was not Cascade.
No.
Who was it?
FFG ran this event. Asmodee and FFG ran this event,
so
planned the whole thing.
When do you move to Minnesota?
They hired out a secondary, a third-party company to run the event.
Okay,
there was only like 4 or 5 FFG people. Only the people in the black shirts, and then the people running around in non-discriminate clothing.
There were a lot of FFG people there. There may have only been a handful responsible for like running the event, but there were a lot of them there because all the devs were there. Jim Cartwright was there and all that. Yeah. Well, Ian, on behalf of every one of us who played side events over the weekend, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. My full-on Larry Edelman mode, unfortunately, paid off, but at the same time, like, it was real embarrassing for a while.
That paid dividends. The force throw thing, by the way, that you stuck me with was really hilarious. I got to sign. I think I only signed 3.
Not very many, but still.
No, I didn't get a ton of people ask, but I did have at least one person on Saturday. He literally stopped me. I was walking to a pod, I think. I was with my group, and he stops me. He goes, "Ian says I have to get a force throw from you."
Yes.
And I was like, okay. And so I had bought paint pins specifically for this duty, and I walked over and I signed a thing and gave it to him. I had actually ruined a couple because that paint pen kept leaking on me. It was kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't use a Sharpie, but okay.
I had a Sharpie, but it was anyway, it got done. Okay, it got done. And then I signed a couple other things. One of the other content creators in this space, a wonderful guy I met at PAX Unplugged named Mobius. He does, if you've seen his stuff on YouTube, he does this great thing called Do You Know SWU? And he basically will take a card and doctor it somehow. Change the text, change the icons. Something on the card has changed, and then he challenges people to kind of figure it out. He posted an episode a few days ago where he did this with the game designers, which was really fun. But anyway, he had pinged me beforehand. He goes, "What card could I bring you to get signed that would be like your card, like you represent you in this game?" I said, "Bring me a Set 2 Kylo leader and I'll absolutely sign that." And he did. So that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
That was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the community was really fantastic. Meeting everybody, just hanging out. Everybody I played with was great.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I did learn that I wanted it to be a little more, the side events to be a little more competitive. So I think if I go again next time, I'm going to play in more like main events or like higher paid in events and things like that than the side events, because I got really tired of just sitting down and people being like, "Let's split tickets and get out of here." I was like, I want to play some games.
Yeah, I've been having that conversation with myself as for the same reason as well, and I'm on the fence. I'll decide later when it matters. Right now, it doesn't matter. It's a year away, but we'll see how it goes. So I feel that pain. Believe me, I do.
Well, grinding out side event tickets was not the greatest thing ever. Also, I cashed out on Sunday or Saturday. That let me buy my way out. So I was able to buy everything I wanted, to be honest.
Right.
I had a few tickets, but like I just bought my way out.
Well, and I
on the prize wall.
I could have bought more stuff on Saturday. I bought my showcases, so I took care of that, and I had bought a play set of Super Laser Blasts, and then late on Sunday I bought a set of Shinhatis just because I was down there late and I was like, I'm going to do this. But I went back to the hall after I had left late on Saturday to help out somebody in the KTOD Discord who couldn't stay and was trying to trade side event tickets for prize wall tickets, just like 1-to-1 or he had exactly whatever he wanted. He knew what he needed for his showcases.
It let you trade 1-to-1. That's what I did.
Well, this was before they started doing that. They did start doing that late enough on Saturday, but this was before that. This was like 7:15 or something. And so I went down there and helped him out, and he basically just gave me a big fat stack of side event tickets, and I gave him enough prize wall tickets, whatever it was he needed to go get his showcases and be done, because he wasn't going to be there on Sunday. And at that point, I only had a few hundred prize wall tickets, but I was like, I'm going to be in here a chunk of tomorrow grinding out more. I'll get way more prize wall tickets. It'll be fine. And of course, that was not the case. It was a giant train wreck disaster on Sunday. Topic for another time.
Yeah, on Saturday I went to buy 150 tickets to get Anthony the Vader showcase.
Yeah.
And the person in front of me bought $3,000 worth of them and
Uh-huh.
went over there and
Yeah.
traded them 1 for 1.
None of
So
that
the prize
shots.
wall became the paywall, unfortunately.
Exactly right. Exactly
It was
right.
pretty rough.
And the person in front of you was not the only person that did that.
No.
So we had some predictions. So
Yes.
Talk
Yeah.
about predictions so that I can participate in this conversation.
Exactly right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, sorry.
So we'll start with
I wish you were there, Trey. It would have been way more
It would have
fun.
been cool. All right, so Trey, let's go through. Last time we did our little hot take predictions for the GC, and Trey, you had basically said that a deck that nobody has seen, was brand new, kind of hidden from everybody, would win the whole thing. I'm going to give you credit for this one, right? Because while
I feel like I should get like 80% credit for this one.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to give you full credit because I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you. Like the deck that Ian Klein and the Bothan Network guys cooked up, the Kylo Tarkentown, didn't win, but by God, it was close. Like it was like
so close,
like
though.
1 to 2 actions away in that match, and he is the winner.
Right.
So I'm going to give you credit for that one. Good enough.
Thank you.
You basically said force throw would not win. I don't think I'm gonna give you that one.
No. I lose at that one. Turns out things that are brokenly good are brokenly good, and people just play with them.
Who could have predicted it, right?
Yeah.
It was 6 of the top 8 decks were force throw decks, and like it was like 65% of the entire field, or 70. It was some crazy number.
Pretty sure 7 of the decks ran red, and so there were that many.
Correct.
The only one that wasn't red was the Vader yellow deck.
No, correct. And then the Han Tarkentown deck just obviously was not a force deck, so it didn't have.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It was a Han 4, a JTL Han Tarkentown deck. Okay, so he was not running force throw in that deck.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Have you guys played with that list yet? It's wicked fun.
I have not actually. It looks interesting though. You had commented. You were kind of like you're like, people are going to come up to you and tell you that they wished you had streamed the whole thing. Now you saw some comments in the chat early in day 1, but I didn't.
Oh, immediately. 20 minutes into the broadcast. 20 minutes into the broadcast. It wasn't a parade, but there was more than one different person was like, this should be C-Raptor. This is dumb. Why is C-Raptor not doing this?
Save us, C-Raptor. You're our only hope.
You're our only hope. That actually showed up in there. That's a real thing that showed up.
And I'll be honest, I talked a little bit about this in my video. I won't belabor the point. I thought seeing the stream production that we could see, we couldn't see the back end, right? There was all kinds of stuff going on in the back we didn't see, but it looked very good. The end result looked good. I obviously did not care for how their screen presentation. I thought the commentary was fine. I had no issues. Yeah, it was too tiny.
Screen presentation is the whole thing.
I'm not.
This is the game size.
Not have an idiot talking
in the arena. This is the game size right here.
Yeah, you have to not have an idiot talking. And you have to like show all the information on the screen.
I know.
And they put the whole game in a tiny postage stamp. More of the screen was like animated
cards
GIF
in hand.
background.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. I in my head I redesigned the whole thing to be much better using kind of the theme that they did in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It was so bad. The guys that spoke were fine. I mean, I'm so animated about the presentation on the screen. The guy, I listened to them. They seemed to talk. They said it felt a lot like a Wizards of the Coast and a Magic presentation where they went all out on the stage for people to play on. Chatted a little bit with Gandork on Reddit about it, and that's what he was referring to. Was the stage where they played that looked fantastic. The production
was impressive.
High quality.
It really did.
The quality of the stuff they put in the little boxes was great. It was way better than what you're able to do, but that's because they have access to all the back end stuff.
Money and team, baby.
The choices they made on how to present the game to people were horrendous.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was.
Are we going to cover the simulcast later? Because I have comments.
The simulcast.
Simulcast.
The people like talking about it.
What
the commentators.
Okay.
We're going to cover that later.
Now's the time.
We're talking about it.
We're talking about it. Go for it.
Man, look, Star Wars. Look, they were in Blazers. Star Wars people and Star Wars players are pirates. We're space pirates. We're space wizards. We are not ABC golf people. And that gave off the worst ABC golfs. I've tried to go back and listen to it. They're not great. They're not bad. But it's so generic. What I love about what Wes does, what I love about what the late night gaming people do, what I love about what some of these other people are doing in the community is it feels like Star Wars. We feel like pirates. We feel like outcasts. We feel like this is something that makes us all feel like we believe. and it just felt so. And now back to you, Jim. Like it just didn't hit for me at all. Like I just really didn't like it.
So let me give you some of my briefly my background, because this is not something that you guys and I've ever talked about. Okay, in terms of the world, the where most of my tournament casting experience come from is World of Warships. Okay, and when I started out doing tournament coverage over there the PC video game. When I started doing tournament coverage over there in late 2017, early 2018, my main goal was the same goal that it was here, which is we can do this better. Okay, let's raise the bar on the presentation that we put forward for people to watch. And the biggest tournament in the game used to happen in spring and fall. It was called King of the Sea, and it took multiple weekends. And for all of the various early rounds, to put it in SWU terms, for all the Swiss rounds, right, all the play-in stuff, we would just wear polo shirts or T-shirt, like branded T-shirts for World of Warships or stuff on camera, because you would see us on camera in between matches, the same way I cover Unlimited now. But when it came time for the finals, right, when it came time for the playoffs, like the high-end playoffs and the finals, I started wearing a shirt and a tie. And I did that. Ian's shaking his head and rolling his eyes, right? But for me, that was.
I mean, World of Warships is different, I guess.
Maybe it is, but for me, the professionalism mattered. It was a big deal to me, and I had to sell a couple of guys on that. In fact, I kept trying to shame the Europeans into doing it. They never would. The NA guys, because the tournament happened on the different regions, the different servers. The NA guys, we'd almost always do it, right? Me and my co-caster would do it because he was like, "Oh yeah, let's look classy." But the Europeans never would. All those years, it just never took. I like the idea. Now, if it were me, right, and I had a say in what I got to wear on camera, and that's something else that we're not aware of. They may not have been able to do certain things on camera because of branding reasons, okay? Sure. But I would have probably gotten like a dark or a light, probably a dark shirt, and talked to my lovely wife and had her make me a tie with the Aspect logos running down it or something, right? Like I would have done something branded wise that would have looked cool on camera.
It would have, like to me, it would have felt better if like they were in Jedi robes or a Han Solo costume or something like that. Something that felt the theme.
But robes would have been hot though.
I don't know. I agree. But like, I don't know, man. It came. I felt like I was watching like.
Okay.
It's like listening.
I think I feel a little bit like I understand what you're saying. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but the answer is not let's mimic covering golf.
I think that's reasonable.
This is not a bunch of 60-year-old white guys that are wrinkled and looking for something dour. I mean, this is 2025, and it's mostly people in their 40s and younger, and like just adults. But we all kind of have not all, but a lot of us have similar backgrounds and similar tastes, and you can do a better job.
We're all Star Wars nerds, so we have that going for us.
Yeah. So one of the vibes that I get from this whole tournament is there was no middle ground. Either it was the people or it was something, and it was just outstanding. Like it was the how nice the people were, or it was a complete train wreck. There was no in between. And so the things that they thought about, and they did a decent job on, were really, really, really good. And then there were things that it just feels like, I don't know. I don't even know what it feels like.
I'd give them an A+ on stage production, and I would give the players an A+. Everything else would be below failing.
I honestly think that's a fair analogy, a fair assessment.
This video, I have to say this one more time. This video coverage. So I'm watching this. I like TVs. I have big TVs. My downstairs, I sat in front of an 82-inch television, and actually, this was 85. This was upstairs. Okay. I sat in front of this 85-inch television, and I could still barely see the cards.
Yeah.
That's how bad the video coverage of what was going on was.
And imagine being one of the people in the room trying to watch it on your phone. It was completely, like you could.
It was terrible.
What I would do when I would have it on my phone, I would zoom the screen in to the point where all that crap on the sides was gone, and I would blow the play area up as large as I could make it and still have it on screen, right? That worked.
I hated the cards in hand. I thought that was the worst thing they could do. It took all the fun out of it. All the fun. And all the fun out of the commentating. Like, oh, is he going to play a force throw? You know he's going to play a force throw. It's in his stinking hand.
I tell you what, I'm coming around on that conversation, but let's have that conversation a different time. because we're getting bogged down here. We got all kinds of other stuff to cover.
Yeah, sorry.
So no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a good conversation. Let's put it on the list for a future time, because that's one you and I can talk about, or we can all talk about for later. Trey, your last prediction was that hard control would win, and that Top Cut would be almost exclusively hard control. I mean, Ian's nodding. I'm not seeing that, right? The Kylo decks was not. The Talzin was kind of more soft control. Kylo was not really, didn't feel like control to me at all. And then you had Vader Yellow and that Han Tarkentown deck in the Top Cut. They were not. That is not hard control.
I mean, they got crushed immediately, though.
That's true.
So the thing that now I'm not going to accept credit for that one, because it wasn't quite as. It wasn't quite what I was envisioning, but
okay.
the Talzin deck, one of the reasons that I think the Talzin deck does so good is it essentially plays hard control and puts out dudes at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. The
That's
Assassins
what makes
work that way.
That's why it won. The Assassins work that way. Everything, like,
Anakin works that way, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's fair.
You get a dude and control, like that's pretty hard to balance out.
So my definition of hard control is that if I'm playing against you and you're playing hard, what I consider to be hard control, every guy that I play dies immediately before I can do anything.
Yeah.
And so that's it. Talzin's not exactly that, but it's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
And then
You're not wrong. Those games in the final, right, were very much about board control, and neither, like, getting a foothold on the board was very difficult for either player, because they both came prepared to just turn the whatever arena into a bloodbath, right? However they had
right,
it.
and that's what it is. That's why I think there are too many.
Yeah.
This is a whole other topic for us, but I've come around on control is too good in this game right now. It's too easy to stop whatever somebody does at every point.
I'm inclined to
agree. And then let the game beat them for you. Let the rules of the game kill them.
I'm looking forward to set rotation when Super Laser Blast, Takedown, Power of the Dark Side, Fell the Dragon, Rivals Fall all rotate out of set. I'm looking.
Power of the Dark Side is the biggest offender.
It's awful. It's awful. For what it costs, it's the most egregious card in the game, it feels like sometimes. Right. It's terrible. Okay, Ian, your predictions. You had said that basically there would be at least one kind of darling deck that the stream would fall in love with. I feel like you kind of get credit for this one. I feel like that Kylo Tarkentown deck got enough of a following that I think I'd give you that one myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great deck, and it just kind of really dominated its way in.
Well, and it definitely was not kind of foreseen, right? I mean, people kind of messed around with it, but not the way the Bothans did it, which was really cool to see.
Yeah.
I wanted to, without diverting too much into that deck, that I think that the key feature that they figured out was that you don't just have to chuck away upgrades with Kylo. You play your upgrades on your dudes, and then when the downside of playing upgrades is you lose that guy, you lose 2 cards, and they killed it with 1.
Yeah.
But then you get to bring everything back and use it again with Kylo. So that.
Well, and to be able to use it as card cycle too, where I got too many upgrades. Let's cycle one out. Let's see what we get.
The other
really helped them a lot.
The other flip side of the event was they knew Force Throw was going to be huge and everywhere. So what did they do? They loaded their deck with cards on the low end of cost, 1, 2, and 3 cost upgrades that they wouldn't mind throwing away because they're going to get value out of it later in the game.
Genius.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Genius. That's what they figured out.
Exactly right. So really, really, really well done. Ian, you're basically, your second point was that the way that the teams in general would just perform fairly well on day 2, and a lot of those guys would move on to day, and they really did. No, I think you're right. Like, I mean, obviously, and
it's not even close. Like, they crushed.
Enigma going away with the win. You had, KTOD put a couple of guys into day 3. The Boffins put, I think, 4 or 5 guys into day 3. Like, you had a lot of folks. And then you basically said that there were going to be day 1 players that made it into the top cut, and there absolutely were. I believe the 7 and 8 seeds were both guys out of day 1, if not higher, but at least that I'm fairly positive.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, to go from day 1 and make the finals, man, that's a grind.
That's
like,
a lot of
hats out to those players. Like,
big time.
Wow, like that's so many. Like, I can barely make it through a freaking PQ, let alone a freaking 3 days worth of a PQ. Like, that's just insane to me.
That's dedication. My predictions
were yours.
I said that the winner was going to have a PQ bye. That's correct. Betten had Sip had he had 2 PQ wins in Poland coming into the event, so he had clearly had a bye. The Galactic, I said the Galactic Open will begin on Saturday without anybody knowing the point structure. Nailed it. They did not announce the point structure until Sunday morning before day 2 of the Galactic Open. And then my last one was that Force Throw was going to ruin enough people's times that they would ban it. And that one is TBD. They have not come up with the meta update for August has not occurred yet. Everybody,
we would have got.
Go ahead.
We had done the simulcast, we would have got that sucker banned.
We
would have started a counter. We would have been in the 300s.
I am very concerned about this because I've finally come around and think it needs. I think it needs to go, but I am concerned that they are going to focus on the plethora of different decks in the top 8, and not that 6 of them ran all the force throws and leaned on the force throws and required 7 of the decks ran red, and so many of them ran force throw. I don't think they're going to focus on that. They're going to focus on that because I don't trust them to understand why their game works or doesn't work.
And
no,
that's fair.
My trust in FFG
I believe they're going to get this right.
Door.
I believe they're going to get this right. Personally, he said his trust.
I've lost a lot of trust in FFG.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get this one right. Now, the reason I made this prediction was because at the time we would have ordinarily, I think I expected at least, the meta updates generally come the first Wednesday of every month. So by the time we were recording tonight, we would have known the answer to this question, but we don't. They've said that we won't get a meta update until next week at the earliest. So we'll know in another 7 days if they're gonna follow through on this one or not. I think they will, but we'll find out. Okay. Trey, at the end of enough with the GC. I think we've beat that horse to death. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trey, you left us with a homework assignment last time.
I did.
I love homework. I love homework.
So the homework assignment that I gave you guys was an exercise in card design. I think it was interesting because they had that article that came out in June and said this is what we did right and this is what we did wrong, and some of it was wildly inaccurate. Some of it was good, but at least it felt at least as honest as they can be. And that our response to that, one of the things that my disappointment with were the large finishing units on the ground in the first set. I felt like the Star Destroyers were so good, they overshadowed the AT-ATs and whatnot. And so we talked about the structure of a set and like how this card at this number has to be like an event that kills a unit, and this card at this card at this number has to be a low drop unit in this color. And so what I challenged you guys to do was to find something. You could choose either one or both, and to find something to replace the disappointing big finishers in blue and green black, which those were the AT-ATs are, to replace them. How would you design them to make them playable? And so to give everybody an idea of, or refresh people's memory on what these cards are. So in this is Spark of Rebellion, right? Okay, I can't remember Spirit of Rebellion or Spark of Rebellion.
They're both in Spark of Rebellion. Ian's got the Blizzard one in his hand.
All right, so Spark of Rebellion, the blue-black ground unit finisher is the AT-AT suppressor. It costs 8, which is big dude. It costs 8, and it's an 8/8. And it said when this unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may heal 4 damage.
No, that's not what it says. Those are my versions.
Why are those? Those are your versions.
Those are my versions.
Okay, hold on.
The card, the AT-AT suppressor says when played, exhaust all ground units.
Yeah, when played, exhaust all ground units. So the idea is, I was reading off of your notes I had them pulled up. That's right.
Yep.
I had them pulled up. Anyway, all right. So the AT-AT suppressor, so the idea is that I'm going to get to 8 and I'm going to play this thing and it's just going to end the turn. That's the idea that they went into it with. And it just doesn't work. If they have units in space that are about to kill you, fine, whatever. If you play this at 8 and you exhaust all their units, then they just claim and all of a sudden all their units are untapped. So it just never saw play. The other one, and green-black, is the Blizzard Assault AT-AT, and it is 8 for a 9/9, and it said, when this unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may deal the excess damage from this attack to an enemy ground unit. So it has, basically it has Overwhelm, but the Overwhelm doesn't hit a base. It just wipes out. It hits other ground units. So this thing is just going to crush things on the ground. It's the idea. You play this at 8, you untap, and you attack for 9, and you just kind of wipe out whatever they have on the ground. Once again, if you're playing something at 8, you don't want to attack their dudes. You want to kill them. This is your finisher. You're going to wipe the board with them. And again, nobody played it. So that was my challenge to you guys. Come up with something different.
All right.
What did you come up with?
All right, Ian, you go first because you've got yours.
I'll go first because
you've got yours here.
I clearly So I chose the Blizzard Assault AT-AT.
Okay.
I thought to
The
make
green
it more
one.
playable, I would make it unique and call it Vier's Assault AT-AT.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
I
now
like
a
it.
unique card.
Yeah.
Instead of being a 9/9, I changed it to an 8/8.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I thought it'd be cool, its ability to be kind of similar to what Vier's does. And I changed its ability to, when played and when defeated, defeat all enemy shield tokens.
I actually kind of like
So you
that.
can,
Interesting.
so you bounce it in, and you take out everybody's shield token. Because in the movie, he takes out the shield generator.
Oh,
I like it. I like the
this.
flavor.
I like that.
So,
I like
and
the
because it's in
flavor.
the Blizzard, it was Hoth, so I used that. I
Yeah.
thought it would be funny to add like heroes get +2/+2 while it's because Luke took him out with a little speeder. I thought
Wait,
that
say
would be
that
kind of
again?
funny.
Well,
I
say
thought
it
it'd be
again, you
funny
cut
to add attacking speeders get +2/+2 against the
So
Oh,
if,
okay.
you, if a speeder attacks it, it gets a bonus attacking into that particular unit. That's actually kind of interesting.
because Luke hooked it
Okay.
yeah,
and took it down. So
Yeah.
that was kind of my thought, that like you could play it as more of a defense card to blow up some shields because they're becoming more popular in the game, especially in that first set too. Like if you were playing Luke,
Mhm.
really could defeat a lot of the Luke shields that were being
Mhm.
popped around then.
I like it. I like it.
I don't think I necessarily made it a great finisher, but I made it a good control card.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I
alright.
got. I didn't do the other one. I thought we
You
just
did
had to
that
do one.
No, you're fine.
Well,
No,
you
I'm
only
sorry.
had to do one. That's just
fine.
if you had
Okay, cool.
time and thought process. You were busy saving the side
You
events.
were busy saving things. You're good. You're good. I messed
All right,
around
Russ.
with both of these. I'll show these on the screen in post production. I'll read you where I landed. I'm like Ian. I'm kind of more happy with the green one first. So I just left the card alone more or less. It's still an 8 cost. Command villain Blizzard Assault at. I lowered the
You
power.
changed
I lowered the power to 8,
Yep.
so it's not 9/9, it's 8/9. I actually had it at 7/9 at one point, and the more I look at it, the more I think that's probably a better. I gave it Overwhelm, and then
Okay.
I gave it a simple win played ability that when you play it, you can play an Imperial ground unit from your discard pile at a discount. So it's a little bit like Home 1, but it's
So what
Kind
is
of
the
like
discount?
Vader.
it's specific to Imperial ground units. And again, for me, the flavor here is the AT-AT is designed to carry troops into battle, right? So the
Okay.
idea here is that rather than like I started to think along the lines of like Vader, right? Like set 1 Vader. Like when you play him, you go into your deck, you play a villainy unit, he brings guys with him. This I thought was like at least a little more different because maybe the assault, maybe the AT-ATs could, I can get Vader out of my discard pile. Maybe it's a super late game card. Maybe I got 13 resources on the board and I can chain things together and have a really big turn. The
You
same
made
way
him
that
Keller and Beck.
kind of this is sort of like a villain version of Home 1, but exclusive to the ground. And there are very few cards in the game that really key off the Imperial keyword, and I wanted another one, so that's kind of why I went this way with it.
Okay.
And
the other one?
The AT-AT suppressor, I left all the numbers alone. I just changed the game text. I basically made it sort of like the anti-Zebarelios. If you look at Zebarelios out of set 1, his game text says when he attacks and defeats a unit, you can deal 4 damage to another ground unit. My version of the AT-AT suppressor basically says when this unit attacks and defeats a unit, you can heal 4 damage from your base. The more I look at that, the more I think I don't mind the text. I think I might lower the text to like maybe 2 or 3 and have it come in shielded. That might be kind of neat too. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But my thought process was you've got for a 9 cost, like the next card up the curve for blue villain in this set is Avenger. And Avenger is going to murder, and Avenger's, just like Dooku down at 7, when he comes in and attacks, things die. And so I wanted something above like Cargo Juggernaut, which is 6, and heals when it comes into the board. This can work the same way. But it has to be killing units, not just going straight to face to get the heal. I felt like going a 12-point swing of I deal 8 to your base and heal me for 4 didn't feel right. But stomping on your ground units and healing my base while I do it, that felt pretty good. So that's why I went with, that's where I went.
All right. So let me give some critiques.
Please.
Let me some first impressions. So first of all, I think flavor-wise, if we're just judging on flavor, Ian takes this one
100%.
hands down.
Agreed.
The shield, removing all the shields is fantastic.
That's really cool.
I don't think that's going to make it very playable. I don't know that it's going to get played because once you're dropping 8 cost units, you don't really care about shields.
Yeah.
So
I was just trying to like, how could I make it spicy and make it,
Yeah.
you know, I wanted to keep it uncommon, right? I didn't want to step it up in the scale or down the scale, right?
No.
Because like down the scale is Vader, right? 7 cost is Vader, and up the scale is so it's kind of placed right in the middle and not really meant to honestly be a great playable card. So I thought just adding some flavor to it and making it more like fit the Star Wars theme, I thought was kind of cool.
So of Wes, of your 2, the way they're presented in this document, I think the best one is the Blizzard Assault AT-AT.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I think it's the Blizzard Assault AT-AT is because I think if for the set that it's in, I like Overwhelm. I think Overwhelm is fantastic on an AT-AT. I think that should be just a staple.
Green Overwhelm is a thing in green, right?
Yeah, pretty hit.
It makes sense.
Right. I think that the when played, you get an Imperial unit, gives this protection from Avenger. And I think that is fantastic.
Oh, I do like that, yeah.
You drop this, you play a cheap guy out of your discard pile.
Could be.
Next turn rolls around, they drop Avenger, you kill that guy, and now you're swinging with Blizzard Assault. I think that makes it super playable. Because Avenger's just almost, it's borderline, if not over the line, of too powerful of killing somebody when it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this guy having basically protection from Avenger coming into play is really good.
Okay.
Is there anything in blue that does Overwhelm? Is blue an Overwhelm?
Blue's not really an Overwhelm color. Blue's like shielded and
grit
shielded, Sentinel, and Grit are kind of the 3 you generally see over there. And Grit, Grit would have been okay, but I mean,
No. I like the idea of the AT-AT suppressor healing your base. I think what might to make it fit with blue. So originally, my first thought when I looked at that card, the way that you designed it, I would want it to have Overwhelm. And with that same thing, when this attacks and defeats a unit, you heal 4 damage from your base. So he would just stomp right over somebody and then hit their base for. But Overwhelm doesn't fit in blue. That's messed up color pie. So I think what might make it even better, what might make it fit with blue, is if you gave it Sentinel and it just said when this unit defeats a unit.
Oh, I like that.
So if you give it Sentinel as an 8/8, and when this unit defeats a unit, you may heal your 4 damage from your base. Now they're having to throw their guys into you. And
heal your base,
and then it heals your base, and so would feel like a finish. I really like your idea of healing damage from a base in blue.
Okay,
and Sentinel would go with it well. So those are great. I don't know that I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it, but I think these are fantastic.
Okay, cool.
Oh, so we did okay.
Yeah, you did great. I mean, you only did one of them, so I kind of but
we get a passing grade, and I'll make sure and put those up in post for the video so that you guys can see my little mock-ups here.
Well, that was
all right.
fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you. We need to do that again.
What's the challenge for next week, Trey?
Yeah,
we get another one.
Give him time to come up with one.
Okay.
We'll take this episode off. He can come into the next episode with one, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, I've got one.
Oh, do you?
Oh, see,
that's
all right. All right. Hit us.
What you got?
Hit us.
No, we'll get there at the end. That's gonna be the final thing.
Okay. All right. Season 1, guys, we're finally there. Season 0 is behind us. We've crowned our first Galactic champion. Congratulations to Betten, whose name Philip, whose last name I will not attempt to pronounce because it's Polish and I will absolutely butcher it. But season 1 is here. We have a new leaderboard. Already new people on the leaderboard. We finally know the point system that we're going to be working under. PQ, all the PQs have been announced. Limited PQs are here. I am probably going to be streaming the limited PQ up in Dallas at Common Ground Games. That is not 100% locked in, but I'm meeting with those guys tomorrow to hopefully do that one.
September 6th, right?
Correct. First Saturday in September. What do you think? Are you excited for limited PQs and competitive limited play?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I am not nearly as I don't get nearly as excited for constructed as I do for limited. I just like the idea of showing up because my life is so busy with other things. I don't have nearly the time to prepare.
Okay.
And so I like showing up to an event and it's just raw talent versus other people's raw talent, and preparation has limited impact on how well you do. So I feel like I do a lot better as somebody with very little time to put into grinding out games, which I don't find fun anyways, just grinding out games to find every perfect play, highest percentage play. Limited is just, it just hits me right in the feels.
Okay.
Love it.
Ian, why are you stoked?
Because it's an even playing ground, man. Like, I'm missing cards and stuff. So, like, there's times that I feel like I can't build certain decks because I don't have the cards.
Okay.
I've learned now that I could probably borrow from it, which is
yes.
But I think it's an even playing field. It does kind of depend somewhat what's in your in your little box, your 6 packs.
Mm-hmm.
But it really comes
Yes.
down to your deck building imagination and how you can put it together. I know Trey, every time we do like a pre-release, Trey does fantastic. You do usually do pretty good. And it's the only event I've ever won is a pre-release. So I'm a big fan of them.
Now, as I understand it, the limited PQs they've announced, there are 5 in the States, 5 in the US. They're spread out a little bit. I think it's Baltimore, Rochester, Seattle, Dallas, and Chicago, I think. That sounds correct.
I didn't realize it was that narrow a slice. That's cool.
Only 5 in the only 5 in the US, and I think 3 or 4 in Europe. I didn't count the European ones, so forgive me, European listeners. I don't have that one off the top of my head, but I know there are 5 in the US. It's sealed, right? So it's going to be sealed. You're going to walk in, you're going to register. They're going to hand you your 6 packs. You're going to build a sealed deck with whatever you get. And if you make the top cut, now it's a draft.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so fun.
Now we have been fortunate, right? In our local play group, we have been doing a monthly draft all the way back to set 1. Even when set 1 was out and there were product shortages everywhere, the store had already set aside enough product for us to be drafting even Spark of Rebellion, even 8 weeks after the set was out and finding cards was tough. We were drafting that thing. And so I think the 3 of us all have drafted each set at least twice. Maybe not the new set, but like previous sets. We've all done it at least twice. But you guys did some draft this week. So talk to me a little bit about, Ian, what did you didn't draft this week? It was just Trey.
No, I drafted GC.
You draft, okay,
here.
So you did a draft at the GC. So talk to me about your draft at the GC. What did you draft? What did you play? What did you think of Legends of the Force in draft?
I thought I always draft better than sealed because I can pick more cards that I want.
Correct.
So I built a really nice Snoke Vigilance deck, and I really only played it because the person next to me, very first pack, passes me an Anakin. So I'm immediate like, oh well, I'm definitely playing blue of some kind. And then from there I was able to pick up like 5 or 6 other really great blue cards. I won my first 2 games, I lost the third, so I lost in the finals. In my draft, in my small draft pot.
Nice.
And I lost to what I standardly lose to so far, and that is Obi-Wan. Freaking Obi-Wan. And how somebody drafted like
Kiadi,
how you end up with
Jedi Knights.
He had 3 Kiadis and he had 2 maces.
2 maces, yeah.
And that was just too much at the 2 maces at the end really kind of did me in. But I think it drafts really well. For the 1 draft I did, I really loved it. I don't think it drafted as well as Jump to Light Speed, but I don't know yet. I've only done 1. I thought JTL was probably the best draft.
Okay. Trey, you drafted for the first time this week. Tell me about your draft experience. What did you draft and how did it go?
I think that Legends of the Force has been amazing for the game. I think the Galactic Championship and the advent of the Legends of the Force has brought a large number. I think we've hit a critical mass. I think people have started showing up a lot more, and it feels like it's new people. We've gotten a lot of new people coming in because they like Space Wizards.
We had like 20 to 22 last night at DL. We haven't had that in a while. That was nice.
We haven't had that in a while, and a lot of them were brand new. And some of them, we actually had new people show up and leave before you got there. So there were even more than you saw.
So there you go, right? So yeah, the game's definitely growing locally.
I think from a constructed perspective, I think it's been just a runaway smash hit. From a limited perspective, I think it's much harder to design. It's much harder to design an even set when you are only thinking about that set.
Okay.
When you're only playing within that set. So if you are playing, like right now when we play Premiere, we have 5 sets to choose cards from. So if there's one set that has a weaker color that was less well designed, it's easy for that to fall away. Like it's easy for that to get lost in the noise, and some other set was better at that. And so it's easy for you if green was bad in one set, green is good in some other set. So you just don't play the bad green cards from the one set.
Sure.
And when you design a single set though, if the colors are not balanced, then it's that noise or that issue is much more magnified. And I feel like that is exactly where we're at with Legend of the Force. I feel like this set was designed by people of wildly varying talent for designing cards. Some of them are I feel like it was somebody was assigned green black, and maybe they were designed red by itself, and they designed those. And whoever is the least experienced, not even least experienced, the person who should probably go back to school to learn how to design cards better is whoever designed yellow.
Now, okay.
Because yellow...
I want to interrupt real quick. Are we talking about neutral yellow, yellow hero, yellow villain, or all of the above?
I didn't play yellow black last night. I played yellow hero.
Okay.
So I don't have as much. We had 2 pods last night. The person who won in the other pod, they had yellow black in their deck, but it was like a support color. It wasn't the main color.
Okay.
I drafted yellow white, but I drafted a lot of straight yellow and a lot of yellow white. I mean, it was, and I was forced into it. I had Obi-Wan, and I just never got any green. And so I played almost of my 30 cards. I want to say 25 of them were yellow.
Yeah.
And I had to, and because of that, I had to play. I was either going to play Cal or Rey, and so I went with Cal to begin with because it feels like that slice of the set in limited was designed to be a balls out aggressive as fast as you can hit. Tap people down with Lothcat to get your last bits of damage in. Tap people down with Cast or with Cal to race people. Like I can feel the flavor of what they're trying to do. It is just incredibly poorly executed.
Okay.
Because they also chose this set to decide we want people to be bigger. We want to make the baseline 2-drop to be a 2/4, not a 2/3. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is that when you start drafting all the cards that you're trying to be aggressive with, for example, one of the big cards that you could use to try and be that super aggressive deck is the Vulpix, which is a white 2-drop that is 3/2 hidden. Mm-hmm. So you cannot play that as a 2-drop on your first turn with this Cal Kestis with the yellow deck. And the reason you can't do that is because if you play that, your opponent is going to play a 2/4, and they're going to immediately attack your guy. Your guy's going to die, and their guy's going to live. Yeah. And that is it is that up and down the spectrum. I drafted, there's a great, what used to be a great unit in space. There's a 3/2 for 2. That's outstanding.
Oh, the J1 Nubian. Or no, the
Nubian. No, that's the draw
J1,
card one.
Yeah.
Whichever one. The 3/2 in space. The
Naboo like, Starfighter, the N1.
Yeah, the N1. That one. That's a great one.
That is a great card.
Except when you play that, and then your opponent claims the battlefield, and then they play a 3/3 Sentinel guy immediately, and you can't get through it. So because all the units are, because of the way they were designed, and because I don't trust FFG to fully playtest this stuff, as we've discussed before. Mm-hmm. They didn't go through and then realize that the yellow deck is just outclassed at every level by a significant percentage, and so it's just unplayable.
Yeah,
I looked at this deck last night, and I looked at it, and I knew that I was going yellow, and that yellow was a difficult one to play. And I looked at it, and I thought, man, if yellow's ever going to work, this is the one that's going to work. Because I had all the 3/2s in space. I had big guys. My 4-drops, I was swinging for 5 every time with my 4-drops. Like I was doing really well. Like the cards that I had at every point in the curve, because the curve really, really matters when you're trying to play that aggressive. You need to maximize every single action. And I just got annihilated by just random commons and uncommons from other people's decks. Just crushed me. And so I am afraid that when we get to play this in limited, whoever gets forced into yellow in the sealed event, because that's just what they got, or whoever makes the top 8 and they gets forced into yellow as a main color because nobody's passing them anything because everybody's trying to play Obi, those people are just screwed, and there's nothing they can do about it. Part of the other problem that I have with this, that's one we're going to take that one. The units are not good enough. Not good enough to play the way that deck wants to play. And Cal Kestis being a 3/4, not good enough. He just gets murdered immediately. Mm-hmm. But all right, so the other part of this are the events. And so another thing about this particular set is that they decided that yellow, we're doing the force. So we're going to do a bunch of force powers. Most of those are in yellow right now. The yellow events. Whoever designed these events, which I'm assuming it's probably the same person, did a very poor job. The events, the yellow has more events than any other color and fewer units. So you've already got fewer units to work with. So if you're going to go with this yellow color, you've got to play some number of events. And the idea that again, you can see the idea. They want you to play Mind Trick, they want you to play Force Slow. The problem is that these cards might as well be blank. They're just unplayably bad. And I feel like whoever designed these cards never took into account that spending a card out of your hand is a cost.
Yes.
Because if every single one of these cards had written on it and draw a card, they would all be playable. So if you play Mind Trick and do the thing and you get to replace that card, so it's not really taking a card out of your hand, they're all playable. They're all good. But because you're having to use a card out of your hand to squeeze 3 damage through, and now you don't have any more cards to play, and your opponent drops another big unit because they're playing bigger stuff, like I feel like that is just such a limiting factor. So yeah. As part of what I did for this, and this stems into the homework that I'm going to assign you guys, I went through and actually redesigned some of these cards. I wanted to go through and do all of them, but I'm not going to do all of them. But they just need to be better. Like if you're going to make me spend a card in an aggressive deck to do something with an event and not continue to load up the board to do damage, it needs to be worth it. And like, as an example, the Will of the Force is one of the best events you can get.
Oh, great.
It's 4 cost. The Will of the Force, return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. You may use the Force. If you do, that player discards a random card from their hand. Mm-hmm. Seems like a fine card. It's one of the best events in yellow in the set. It's not good enough. Because if I'm trying to play that aggressive squeeze every point out deck, I can't play this at 4. I have to play a unit at 4. I have to do something else. So to tweak this card the way that I would tweak this card myself, I would either it would be 3, and it would either say use the Force to return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand, and then they discard a card, or it would say it would just be waylay, and then you may use the Force and then make them discard. Like it needs to either be slightly strictly better than waylay, or it needs to be like a whole different path where you have to use the Force and then it's just better than waylay.
Yeah, it would basically be like a waylay replacement with slightly different flavor. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So was slightly different. Now it's in the Force flavor. So like if I were to, if it's cost 3, I can play something at 4, and then at 5 I can play this and a 2-drop and keep going.
Yeah.
And that's just, then you just can't do that now. Like there's nothing at 1 I want to play to play this on my 5 resource turn. I want to play this in a 1, so I'd have to wait turn 6, and it's not good.
So it's interesting to me that you call out yellow, and here's why. Because as I discovered, right, when I sit down to program my stream deck, right, I have to look at, I've talked before how I have everything organized, right? It's organized by aspect colors. So I have a sub menu for yellow white, a sub menu for yellow black, a sub menu for straight yellow, and so on. Mm-hmm. And what happens then is that as I go through and program it, oddities in how the colors are organized become very apparent, because I'm suddenly looking at a little menu, a subset of that color all in one place. And when I was programming the deck, what I realized is that straight yellow neutral, not yellow hero, yellow black, just yellow neutral, has fewer units in it in this set than any of the other neutral colors. You look at red, green, and blue all have about 15 or 16 units in just straight red, green, or blue. But yellow, straight yellow, has only 9 units available in straight neutral yellow. The majority of the cards in neutral yellow, or like it's an even split, it's pretty close, are events or the 1 upgrade, which I think is the Ascension gun. There's a ton of yellow events, but not nearly as many yellow units. So drafting around a yellow leader in this set is actually just drafting yellow in general is I don't think it's suicide. It is risky. Here's the thing.
It's suicide because the cards aren't powerful enough, but I understand what they're trying to do.
Let me finish my thought, because as more people figure this out, right, and start avoiding yellow, you might, in a certain draft pod, find yourself in a position where you can pick up all these yellow cards and put together a viable deck. But in sealed, I think yellow is at a massive disadvantage, okay? Because the available card pool to you in your limited 6 packs is simply statistically always going to have fewer yellow units in it than any other color. When you draft, the rules start to change because you don't know what you're going to get past. You don't know what somebody else is going to have. It's possible to build a yellow deck in draft. It won't be a great deck.
A strange question?
I think it might not be a great deck. Hang on.
You finish.
I think it might not necessarily be a great deck, okay, but it is possible to build it with enough units. I think in sealed, yellow in this set is at a massive disadvantage. Go ahead, Ian.
Okay.
Just a real quick question. Are there more villainy and heroism units than there are?
No.
So
the same.
Other than traditional sets, there are more villainy and heroism units in this set than in traditional
Is
sets.
there more than yellow? Like, are there more villain units than there are just straight?
That's actually a good question. Let me look.
Because that would be interesting because that's never happened in a set, and it's never been close.
9. It is. There are 10 villainy units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 heroism units. So there are more units in straight heroism and straight villainy than there are in yellow neutral. Figure that one out. Okay, go ahead, Trey.
All right, so back to what you said. I understand what you're saying about maybe getting enough. The problem is that if you're building this yellow deck, the units, you're going to get enough units. They're not good enough to play the game the way that those units are designed to play the game with your yellow hero leader, and you're just going to get crushed. And you can't flesh out the deck with the events because they're trash. All of the events are just garbage, and it doesn't matter if you get them all. You just have a bunch of blank cards.
Right.
So I want to give you guys. I think I have 3 cards in mind. Okay. I want to give you some redesigns of that, and I want you to just spitball off the top of your head if you think this would make it more playable. Because I think that this idea that they have is a viable idea to do, like the force tricks and the things like that. But it's just so poorly executed in this set. All right, so the first one is Mind Trick. The traditional Mind Trick is
yellow-white card. Yes,
it's a yellow-white card. It costs 2. It's an event. It says exhaust any number of units with a combined power of 4 or less. If you control a force unit, those units lose all abilities and can't gain abilities for this phase. The card is garbage. You never want to spend 2 on it. A power of 4 or less means you're not really tapping anything good. And losing abilities is a very niche thing, and it almost never matters. So my redesign of Mind Trick, same cost, yellow, white 2. Now it's an upgrade.
Okay.
Attached to enemy unit. When attached unit attacks, its target is chosen randomly.
So for me, players hate random. My suggestion, and this would make it probably grossly OP, but I'd love to see it done anyway, just because it would mess with people, is that when this target attacks, the target of the attack is chosen by your opponent.
All right.
So they could, if they wanted to protect their units, they could say he can attack the base. But if they were willing to just have him smash into one of their units, they could say he has to attack Adigalia or whatever, right? Like that might be interesting.
I would definitely like to see those 2 play tested against each other, but that's my idea that feels thematic for a Mind Trick. You've messed with one of these units.
Okay.
So the next one is Force Slow.
Okay.
Force Slow is hot garbage. Force Slow is a 1 and a yellow for an event that says give an exhausted units -8, -0 for this phase. Essentially, it allows you to run all of your guys into one big unit the moment they play it and kill that unit before they can do it. It will never see play. You're going to spend they're not going to play it. They're not going to play their big guy at first. So you're going to, because you're aggressive, you're going to try to attack. So they're going to let you, they're going to put some guys out or deal with your stuff. You're going to go back and forth. They're going to play their big guy when you can't do anything about it. And while it's exhausted, and then they're going to untap and then it's going to kill.
And that doesn't really make sense for the title of the card either. Force Slow.
You're
not slowing anything. You're just making something weaker. That doesn't feel good.
The first time I saw this card, I thought this card is really good against Sentinels and probably not much else.
Why is it good against Sentinels?
Because
they don't exhaust.
okay, hold on a minute. Most of the time, when you first play a Sentinel, like a Childson, it has to come in exhausted, right?
Oh, okay. So yeah,
now,
you still have to be able to kill it immediately.
I still have to be able to attack into it, but at least this way I can attack into it for free and get rid of it without losing the units that I'm attacking it with. As an example, that's the only use I thought of when I first saw this card. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. So my redesign is, so a lot of these redesigns, like if you notice when we looked at the AT-ATs, like I never would have thought about using the heal 4 damage from your base. So you came up with that idea. That was a great idea. We kind of went back and forth. I liked adding the Sentinel to it, and I think we came up with something that would have been a really great replacement.
Would have been a neat card.
Yeah. So this needs some templating, but the idea that I have for Force Slow, it's wordy, but I think you'll get the idea that I have. And I think if we had time to go back and forth about it, we could trim this into something that would be playable.
Okay.
Also an upgrade. Costs 1 yellow.
Yeah.
Attached to a non-leader unit. When played, give the attached unit 2 shields. Attached unit gains action, remove a shield from this unit. Attached unit cannot attack while it has shield tokens on it. So you're putting an upgrade on something, and it gets a bunch of shields. And as long as it has the shields on it, it can't attack. It's being slowed. But they can pop them off eventually.
Okay. Oh, so use it as a defensive.
It's meant to be a defensive upgrade.
A defensive card.
Yeah, you would play
it on an opponent's.
You would play it on an opponent's unit and quote unquote lock it out for a bit. You didn't kill it, but you took it off like no good to me dead. You sort of turned it off for a couple of turns.
That feels really cunning.
It feels
a much better card in general.
Yeah, I think it'd be too cheap for that cost, but I think I like the idea of it.
Yeah, because they can. It's not an exhaust to get rid of the shield. They can sit there and get rid of all the shields this turn and then still attack with it.
But it slows him down. I see the point.
It slows him down. That's the Force Slow idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now that's a lot of words, but I think you could get there with that one.
Yeah,
all right. So and then the final one is Force Speed. Now Force Speed has a card has a long and storied history going back to Destiny. Force Speed was like the most broken card in the game.
It was super busted.
All right, so in this game, it costs 1 and it's a double yellow.
It's
so
hot
when
trash.
you get the double yellow, that means it's supposed to mean it's powerful. This one is not powerful.
Failed.
So this one, you attack with a unit. For this attack, it gains. On attack, return any number of non-unique upgrades attached to the defender to their owner's hands. It might as well be blind. It might just say attack with a unit for you're spending a card attacking it.
It's not very good.
It has moments where it could do something useful, but it's just not. It's that thing where if this happens and if this happens and if this happens, then it's going to be amazing. But the more ifs you add, the less likely that thing is to happen.
Yeah. Very good.
So here's my redesign. This one is an event, and it is yellow for 1.
Okay.
If you have a force unit, attack with a unit, it deals its damage before the defender. Attack again with that unit. Hold on. Attack again with that unit. It deals its damage before the defender.
Oh, I like that. That's kind of neat.
So it is a Force Speed, and you're going to get to attack 2 things and first strike them both.
It's kind of like
it's like a combo Maul and Han.
It kind of kind of. But again, you have to have a force unit to pull that off. If it were me for that ability, I'd almost argue for having to spend the force token to pull it off. But I like
and that's the part where we bounce back and forth.
Right.
But my idea of it Force Speed, and you go super fast, and you attack 2 things, and you get to deal damage, and then you kill them.
Yeah, I like it.
So that was my idea.
I also like that it can't go against bases.
Yeah, I think that's cool too.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you make those the changes that I made with the cards, I think that you accomplish what you're trying to do, where you try to make somebody playing yellow and aggressive want to use more events in their game. And it's possible to design cards that can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where I'm at with this one. It's on the other end of the spectrum. Obi is just so grossly overpowered.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else, like it's just being able to plop out tokens,
just vomit out tokens.
So that's why it feels like it was designed more for constructed than for limited, and different people designed different halves of this set, and they didn't really test them together in limited, and so you have wildly varying power across the color pie.
One of the conversations I was having, and I've forgotten who this was in Vegas at the GC. We were talking about limited Legends of the Force, and their comment to me was, because I still have not drafted it, but we've all played a little bit of sealed. If you've done pre-release, you've done base effectively sealed. Was that they felt like there were more playable leaders in sealed and limited in this pool than in the last couple of sets. In my opinion, they probably have a valid point. Certainly, we're better than we were in Twilight. The Twilight pool is terrible in limited. In this pool, I would argue I think they have a valid point, right? Because as good as Obi is, Snoke is also very good. Talzin is also very good. I think Grand Inquisitor is personally underrated in limited. In constructed, I don't think he's all that great, but I think in limited he's not terrible. I think Third Sister is more than playable in limited. I did very well with Third Sister in one of the pre-releases. If you end up, I think in sealed she might be a little rocky, but in draft, if you're pulling the right card, if you're drafting the right things, I think she can be quite solid. I think Revan and Anakin are probably misses in limited play. But the bottom line is there's probably still... I think Ahsoka's honestly not that terrible. The ability to just give Sentinel to anything, that's a useful spend. That's not a terrible way to spend your Force token. And the blue units, the blue heroism units, Itinerant Warrior is arguably the best common in the set, right? Heal 3 and a 4/4 shielded when it comes in. Like, that is a great card.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a lot going on with one card for 4 cost, right? I think blue-red hero is probably where you want to be if you're able to draft or build a sealed deck in blue-red hero in this set. But that doesn't mean that you can't play villain. I think Talzin is a very buildable card in this set, and I think Snoke is as well.
All right, so now my homework assignment, my card design homework assignment.
All right, let's go.
I've got 3 cards for 3 other events from the set I want to get redesigns on. So I want to, you can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 3. Doesn't matter. But I got 3 of them. I want you to come up with something really interesting. So the first one is psychometry. They keep using this word. I have no idea what it means. It must be part of some famous canon thing that I just don't know about.
I don't know what it's from
psychometries. There was psychometries listed in Destiny. I've seen it in other games. I just don't know. I think it was in X-Wing. Well, I don't know what it is. All right, so the current version of psychometry is one of those, look at the top several cards of your deck and draw something, a particular type of thing out of it. It is, choose another card in your discard pile, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a card that shares a trait, and then draw that card. Okay. So basically, it's like all the other cards. It's just this one, it worked for whatever you're playing in your deck. I've never seen anyone play it. It might as well be blank. So that's one of them.
Okay.
The next one is Sheehan Flurry.
I think Sheehan Flurry is really good.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you don't have to redesign it.
Okay. I'm leaving that one alone. I like that card.
Right. So Sheehan Flurry is 1 for yellow.
Yeah, it gives an ambush.
It gives an ambush and +1, I think. I don't know. He'll let him read it.
Oh, we'll skip that one. All right. So I'll skip that one. Now that I read it, it's better than I thought it was.
It's not a bad card.
I'll do. So I did redesign one other one, and so I'll compare that one with you guys next time.
Okay.
So I'll do. So skip Sheehan Flurry.
Okay.
The next one is 3 lessons.
Okay.
It's a straight yellow, and it costs
that's a weird
2.
one.
Play a unit from your hand, paying its cost, which is the issue. That's what makes this suck.
Yeah.
Because you're paying 2 extra for something. It gains hidden for this phase. It gets an experience token and a shield. So yes, it gets buffed, but you're basically playing a 2-drop on 4, and it just can't be attacked. And it's
my favorite part is, look, I overpaid for this unit to have experience in his shield token. Power of the dark side. Oh well. Yeah. Oh well. Life went on.
So that is
what a joke.
You got to remember the flavor of that one, and then you can design that one. And then the final one is Force Illusion. So that's 2 cost yellow.
That's another one that is a very thematic card for what it does.
It is. Exhaust an enemy unit. A friendly unit gains Sentinel for this phase.
Okay.
So you can design 1 of those, 2 of those, all of those, and let's see what you come up with.
I'll say this. I got good work out of Force Illusion in one of my pre-releases. Just because the ability to exhaust an opponent's unit on demand is nice, and then their remaining units have to attack into whatever you designate as Sentinel, and it's not restricted to an arena. I can exhaust a ground unit and give a Sentinel to a space unit, or vice versa, which is really nice.
Okay.
So we'll leave it on the list, but that's one that I don't think is terrible. I think I think maybe you could do it differently, but I don't think it's that bad a card.
All right. I might have been caught up in how angry I was.
How angry you were?
These garbage yellow cards that it might as well be blank.
I like it. Okay.
I just assumed your draft went the same way they always do. Trey, you lose the first game, you reshuffle your deck, and then you dominate the rest of the way through.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that one this time because it was all yellow all the time. All I could have done was swap out Ray for Cal.
But I think the point that in that I want folks to take away from, and certainly I think you do, is yellow in this set in limited environment is a massive risk. Okay, for me, from a straight deck building perspective, it's a massive risk because there are simply fewer units available for you to draft or come up with in a sealed environment, right? So if you're going to go towards yellow, you better have the numbers, because I generally build very unit heavy decks in limited. And yellow in this set does not generally allow you to do that unless you are extraordinarily lucky. And even then, like the generic yellow units, they're okay, but they're not like for starters. One of them's a legendary.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Legacy run, right? Like you're probably not going to have one of those. The Sorcerers of Tund is actually pretty good for 6. It's a 6/6 shielded. That's not a bad card. The Lifewind Sage is not bad. Dooku won me a pre-release game. There are good units here, but there's simply fewer of them. And it's going to be a challenge, right? So
but those are all higher drops. The low drops are the ones that are trash.
Yeah,
Babu,
that's what I was saying.
Babu's
yellow
not very
wants to be
good.
aggressive.
Lotho's, The Mysterious Hermit is not terrible if you're playing her in a deck that's trying to just get a force token early. That's about her only uses. Like she can. If you're off the button, you can ambush in, get your force token, and then she's probably going to die because she's just not that amazing, right?
The other 3 colors all have just really great, new, amazing 2-drops.
Yeah, they really do.
Secret of Sage is a common card, 2/2 shielded for blue.
Yeah.
Yodel, 2/4 with Restore for 2.
Yeah.
Adiagali or whatever her 2/4
She's rare.
Playing event. But I'm just saying the 2-drops there are just, they're great.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many good new 2-drops across the board, and it's very difficult with yellow to keep up with when you're doing such great 2-drops.
Yeah.
I will say that a broken clock is right twice a day. I think Lothcat might be the best design card in this set. Lothcat is amazing.
Okay.
It's just not a 2-drop. You don't ever play it as your first play of the game because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
it's
really
a trick you play later. So even though they have it in the 2-drop slot, and this goes to your thing about you're just not enough units, Lothcat is not a 2-drop, even though it has 2 written on it, because you're not playing it on the first turn of the game.
You don't want to play that on your first turn of the game. You want that later.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You want to play it later when he can, exhaust something when it hits the board. And then later on, when you throw him into something, he exhausts something else. Like he's just constantly slowing them down. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. Anything else we want to cover, guys? We've kind of hit most of the stuff we had on the agenda, and it's getting pretty late.
Yeah, it's pretty late. We've been here for a while.
We've been here for a hot minute. Everybody good? All right.
I'm good. I'm petered out, man.
Sweet. All right, guys. Listen, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy the episode, give us the obligatory like and subscribe, and we'll be back in a couple weeks with a new episode. In the meantime, good luck in your PQs, be they limited or otherwise. And we'll see you guys on the future episode. Take care.